Good morning, friends. Mama Sam here. Hi. It's been a while. I haven't really done anything in a while. So just looking at me right now, I just thought of something. My glasses, I'm always complaining how they're like, you can see the glare off of them. I took like a couple of little like free classes on like computers and stuff. And they were basically like, oh, well, you need to, it's because I'm in front of these two windows right here that you can see it. They're like, you just need to move your desk to where you're not staring at these windows. And I'm like, oh, yeah. I probably should have been able to figure that out on my own, right? Oh, well. Anyway, so what's been going on? Nothing really. I had a really bad flare-up with my IBS. So I've been dealing with that nonsense for like, it was a while, probably like 3 weeks. It was awful. I've also just been doing some personal things that I don't really want to talk about yet. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. So, and I've just been lazy. Like, I could have posted, I could have made videos. Like, nobody's gonna watch videos if I don't make them, right? Like, why would you watch a YouTuber that has like 5 videos? So, I do need to get on the ball more about that. I've also been trying to just kind of figure out what I want this channel to be about. I feel like I've got so much going on. Oh, I did my nails. I feel like I've got so much going on with the channel that I feel like I haven't found my footing yet. So I have a couple of ideas of what I want to do, but I mean, we'll see. I don't know. I swear I'm going to finish Until Dawn. I actually have finished it. I just haven't uploaded it yet. So that's done. Also, I'm thinking I'm going to do, and this was totally my daughter's idea, and I'm like, oh, this is a really good idea. I'm going to do 100 days of hardcore Minecraft. I mean, I don't know if I'll be good in it, but I might as well try it. So yeah, a couple of things. I gotta add The Sims in there somewhere because I have been like, I just haven't really been wanting to play The Sims. Like, I don't know, my heart's just not in it, and it sucks because like that's what I thought like most of this channel would be is The Sims. I mean, it's in my picture and it's in my banner, and it really is like a lifestyle for me. Like, you know, playing The Sims. Well. But I don't know, I want to really like it and play it, but I don't know, I just don't. I'd rather play other things. Like, I was thinking after I got done with Until Dawn, I might try a game called Detroit Become Human. You know, there was so much like controversy around The Last of Us 2 that I was like, well, I've never played the first one, so I kind of want to know what's going on. So I thought I would do The Last of Us, Uncharted 4. Like, there's a lot of games that, Ghost of Tsushima, you know, there's games that I want to play. Kind of want to play the Cyberpunk game too, although I've heard it's riddled with bugs. And as a console player, that worries me. I deal with that a lot, especially with, you know, The Sims, but kind of want to try these different games and stuff like that. Get this old lady in the loop, you know? So I really don't know where The Sims fits in with that, but I feel like I got to make it work. I mean, look in the background. You can see my little plumb bob right there. I bought it just for videos. I don't know. So anyway, what this video is about. Oh my gosh. Friends. I watched this movie yesterday, and I have to talk about it. It was a movie called Greenland. It had Gerard Butler in it. That should have been my first clue. I mean, nothing against him. I really actually like Gerard Butler. He was in, you know, Tomb Raider. He was in the second Tomb Raider, so I have a soft spot for him. But I mean, he's been in other movies that I liked. I mean, he was in 300. The movie was amazing. But it seems like lately his movies have gotten kind of like silly. My little Steam update is popping up and down. Would you just wait your turn? Anyway, if you haven't seen Greenland, right now, I'm going to spoil the whole thing. I'm about to rip into this movie, so you might want to go if you haven't seen it yet. And if you haven't seen it, and you're seeing this video, and you're like, well, maybe I shouldn't watch it, at least watch it once. I mean, I hate when people are like, oh, that movie sucked, or this person said this movie sucked, I'm not going to watch it. Well, you should at least watch it once to see. Like, I don't know many movies where I would literally say, like, do not watch this movie, but, you know, watch the movie and make your own judgment. So, but yeah, no, I'm gonna rip into this movie. This movie was so ridiculous. Maybe once a week I should do a movie review. Like, you guys already know, but I love scary movies. I love end of the world type movies, catastrophe, all that kind of stuff. That would be kind of fun. But anyway, so it starts off with this guy who is like, it's just Gerard Butler, and he builds buildings and stuff like that. And not just buildings, but like skyscrapers. And so he goes home early, and he's got like drama going on with his wife and all this kind of stuff. There's a comet passing by Earth, like my hair looks gross today. Like a really big comet, but it's got like a bunch of other little comets around it. But nobody's really worried about it, I guess, because they said that it's going to pass by Earth. So no big deal, right? But it's passing by really, really close. So you can go out in the daylight and you can see this thing up there, which looked really cool. That I liked. So he gets this like alert when he's at a store, and it says something about like a presidential alert that you've been selected. So he goes home, and while they're sitting there, with friends, well, family too. And they get like a flash on the TV that says like they've been selected to go to these underground bunkers to save people. Like only a handful of people were being selected. I can't remember how many. I want to say maybe 2,000 or 20,000 people were selected. That seems really low, so I'm probably wrong. Like all of the people in the room, all their friends and stuff, they're like, wait a minute, what is going on? And all these people are their families, and they have kids and stuff. So they start packing up their stuff, and they're leaving. And this woman, oh, my hash browns. So they're leaving the neighborhood to go to this place. And this woman runs up to their car, and she was at their barbecue. She starts banging in the car, and she's crying and screaming. She's like, please just take my daughter. Please, don't take anybody else. I don't care. Just please take my daughter. And they're like, we can't, we're sorry, because it specifically says if you don't have like this invite on your phone, I guess, you're going to get a bracelet. If you don't have this stuff, you're SOL. So she is, oh my gosh, I started crying. This woman is like begging, please, please, please. She was probably the best actor in the whole freaking movie. And they're like, no. And they drive away, and the little girl is like screaming, and mom's screaming. So the whole premise of this movie is based on you have to have this bracelet and to be able to go into the bunker. If you don't have this bracelet, you are not getting into this underground bunker. So they make their trip to get there, and a whole bunch of chaos just happens. Like they get separated, all this stuff. Their son, he's 7, he has diabetes, and so they accidentally forget his medicine in the car. Now a lot of people are like, that is the stupidest thing ever. Like, how could you forget that? Well, I mean, the world's gonna end in 2 days. It's a little chaotic. I could understand if in the chaos when they were getting out of the car, something fell out or they forgot to put it in a certain place. I get that. That's okay. That doesn't bother me. So they get to the plane where they're going to fly to this location that they don't know what it is, but we do, because the movie's called Greenland. And Gerard Butler, I can't remember his name. The wife's like, oh my gosh, we don't have his meds. And he's like, okay, well, I'll run back to the car and get it. And so she goes up to an officer and just mentions, kind of not even thinking about it, like, well, my husband, how long until the planes take off? Because my husband went to go get my son's medication. And the guard's like, medication? And turns out they're not taking anybody that have any chronic illnesses. I mean, that's messed up. Now they're turned away. And Gerard Butler has no idea. Another thing people were pointing out were like, she's so stupid. Why'd she say anything? Well, if you've been told you've been selected, I would assume they have all of your medical history. If that's a big no-no that you can't have anybody that has a chronic illness, that would, to me, I would think I mean, come on. The kid has diabetes. That is a chronic illness. How did you screw up on that? The mom probably had no idea that she couldn't mention that. I wouldn't think that. I'd go in and be like, hey, I've been selected. By the way, I'm on 4 different medications. You guys are going to have that, right? You would think that, they would have seen that. But, I mean, I don't really like to get too political, but trying to pretend the government does everything, right? So anyway, she goes back to the car with the little boy. Gerard Butler goes back to the plane. Chaos ensues. They both end up on the road trying to get to her dad's house. What was really kind of ridiculous was there's a scene where the mom needs to go into a pharmacy, and there's, like there's looters outside, there's rioters, there's a bunch of chaos going on, which would happen. And you can hear police sirens going off in the background. I'm like, oh, come on. The world is going to end in 2 days. Like, literally, they said there's 2 days left before the world ends. You wouldn't be going to work. Nobody would be going to work. Everybody would be spending their last moments, you know, with their family, saying goodbye. You know, there were some people that were, like, partying on the roof, having an end of the world party. Like, that kind of stuff would happen. Some people would embrace it and say, hey, we're going to go out just having a fun time. Some people would be like, we're just going to be with our families. Nobody would be at work, and that includes the police. And I called it. I was like, as soon as I seen that people got selected and people got bracelets and we're getting text messages, I'm like, they're going to start murdering people for their bracelets. And I was right. Gerard Butler, he comes across this group of people and they try to kill him for his bracelet. Not all of them, but some of them. And then the woman is in a car, and you know, these two people kidnap her son so that they can try to have a way to get in. So like, this kind of stuff would actually happen. Anyway, I'm getting off of this. This is a rant about this movie, not telling what this movie did right, but it did do a couple things right. It wasn't completely wrong. Cutting out all of the boring stuff in the middle. They get to her dad's. They finally get reunited. They get to her dad's, which that was all stupid too. Like, her son gets kidnapped, but she happens to find him so easily. I don't know. It was dumb. Gerard Butler figures out that there's a way to, from the people that tried to steal his bracelet, there was actually somebody there that was really nice and told him, hey, if you go to Greenland, that's where the bunkers are. We're going to try to get in. And he's like, well, you need a bracelet to get in. Like, what are you going to do? And the guy was like, we don't know. But, I mean, we can either wait and die or we can try fighting our way in, right? So, okay, yeah, that makes sense. So Gerard Butler tells his wife, like, we need to go to Greenland and try to get in. And she's kind of just like hesitant, but you can tell because of their son, she's like, yeah, we need to try at least. So anyway, her dad stays, which people are saying that's so cliche, but I get it. This guy, he's older. He's in like his 70s. You know, his wife has passed away. You know, he was like, you know, this is where your mom took her last breath. This is where I'm going to take my last breath. So I get it. Like, there would be people that would do that. There would. So he gives them their truck, and they start driving to where they need to get on the plane. And that's the second cool scene in the movie. So this movie's almost over. There was one cool scene in the beginning that happened to Florida, and immediately thought, oh no, Grace still plays, no. And then there was a part, like, the movie's almost over, and then there was another cool part with all these like it was like Farrah was just, you know, raining down fire on these people. They're getting hit with meteors, but they're not real big ones. They're like smaller ones. And it was just, justice was just raining from above like crazy. And so they go to the airport and they get on the plane and they head to Greenland. And this is where I got so mad. Okay, they finally get to Greenland. They find the bunkers. It's a 9-mile meteor that is getting ready to crash into Earth. They have like 4 minutes to get whatever the plan that they're going to do to save their family, to get into this bunker, whatever they have to do. They have 4 minutes. Oh, wait. The military opens the doors and just starts waving people in. Come on in. You can come in. Yeah, let's go. So the bracelets didn't even matter. So then they're all sitting there, and the little boy had been talking about, you know, somebody had told him that before you die, your life flashes before your eyes. So they're all sitting there, all huddled together. And they're like, we have each other at least. And the meteor hits. And you don't even get to see it. I mean, that's like the part, that was the money shot. That was what I was waiting for this whole entire movie. I wanted to see this giant meteor hit the earth and it catches on fire. And, you know, it's fire and blood everywhere. Like, that's what I've been waiting for this whole time. Nope, you don't get to see it. Gerard Butler's life flashes before his eyes and you think, oh, well, they died. Then you start seeing all these shots of, like, you know, Sydney and New York, I assume. I don't really remember. Just different places around the world. You've seen the shot in, like, every movie that's about the end of the world. So, Independence Day did it better. Turns out they didn't die. They're all alive and well. And 9 months later, they open the doors and they go outside, like, oh, everything's okay. And the birds are flying around outside and the movie's over. I'm like, you have got to be freaking kidding me. Whoa, wait a minute. Okay, First of all, you have based this whole movie on the idea that if you don't have these bracelets, you are not getting in. If you have a chronic illness, you are not getting in. People were killing other people for these bracelets. They were ripping them off. They were separating mothers from their children to get these bracelets. They threw the woman on the side of the road and practically tore her arm off to get her bracelet. So the whole premise of your movie is that if you don't have this bracelet, you're not getting in. And then at the end of the movie, they're just like, oh, come on in. Yeah, let's go. You know, it's okay. Oh, it's okay. You have a chronic illness. I mean, we don't have anything to keep you alive, but come on in. Oh, yeah. Oh, you guys running from God knows where. Yeah, go ahead. Come on in. Have you passed your psych evaluation? Are you going to shoot us all up or try to murder us in our sleep? We don't know. We don't know who you are. Come on in. So that takes me back to the very beginning of the movie. This really pissed me off. I was bawling at the beginning of this movie when this woman was banging on their car, begging them, please take my daughter. I don't care about me, my husband. Well, I mean, obviously you care, but I don't care about that. Please just take my daughter, please. And the daughter was crying and screaming and trying to hug the little boy. They were friends. And they were like, we can't, we're sorry, we drove away. Oh my gosh, you could have taken her. You could have taken every child in that neighborhood because in the end, it didn't matter. They were just shuffling people in. Now, I know Gerard Butler didn't know that in the movie, but I know it now, and it makes me mad thinking, oh, well, she could have gone, but she didn't. Now she's dead. When they opened the doors at the end, anybody who paid a shred of attention in science would know that after 9 months, after a 9-mile wide meteor hitting the Earth, you wouldn't be able to walk outside. Okay, the sky would still be full of fire. It would be so hot on the surface of the Earth. Us people, anybody who's watching this right now, no matter what age you are, you would never see the outside world again unless it was on a camera. There's no way you'd see it. Our Earth would be heated up hundreds of degrees for a very long time. Then after that, you would have like a nuclear winter type thing where you would go into like a second ice age. But this kind of stuff takes hundreds of years. And 9 months later, no way they'd be going outside. This movie was a joke. It was an absolute joke. I'm tired of these scary movies. I'm tired of them masquerading these types of movies as scary disaster flicks, end of the world, whatever. All those types of movies I like. Alien invasions. What have it? And it's a movie that's more based on like what would happen in this situation. If you want to watch a movie that's a good movie about the end of the world, that's based on more of a family type aspect, what would happen in those situations, watch War of the Worlds. I'm not joking. That's what the movie's about. It's about Tom Cruise trying like hell to keep his daughter safe when the end of the world is like, when, that kind of stuff's going on. That's a good movie. This movie didn't do that. And I'm so tired of like, well, you have to look at the psychological aspect. You know what? First of all, I don't. I mean, it's not really that interesting. It's not for me anyway. Maybe I'm just simple-minded. Maybe I just like explosions and, crap hitting the earth and seeing people on fire. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm not pretentious enough. I just get tired of these movies that's like, well, you get to see what would happen, what people would do. I don't care about that. I don't want to. I know what people would do. Trust me, I do. I don't care about it. I want to see Bruce Willis trying to crack open an asteroid and save the world with a nuclear bomb. That's what I want to see. I want to see shit flying into the earth, blowing shit up. I know it sounds like I have probably bad taste in movies, but I mean, that's what I want to see. I do. Now, I do like movies that make you think, so I'm not like that kind of person. Mother happens to be one of my favorite movies of all time. So I'm not put off by every artsy-fartsy thing. And this wouldn't even be Greenland isn't even an artsy-fartsy movie. It's just a movie that really sucks. And I had to get it out. It's 2 hours. 2 hours! This movie doesn't need to be 2 hours long. I just had to, let it out because I watched it alone, and I tried to talk to my husband about it, and he just didn't get it, because he didn't watch it, so he's just listening to me kind of like, oh my God, woman. So, I mean, if you've seen Greenland, then you can either be like, oh yeah, totally, that movie was really stupid, or you could be like, oh my God, Sam, I can't believe you didn't like that movie. It was a masterpiece. It was so good. I didn't like it. I thought it was awful. If I had to grade the movie, I would give it a D minus. I'd give it a 1 star out of 5. And that would probably be just because, well, it's a movie. So anyway, that's all I got. Hope you enjoyed this video. I thought it was pretty fun. Today's the last day of school. My daughter will be home from now on until the next season, until the next school year starts. So I don't really know what my schedule is going to look like, but I'm going to try to, get back into the swing of things. I only have 20 subscribers. It makes me sad. So I got to get that number higher. So anyway, have a good rest of your day, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, friends.